It is Tuesday, June 21st in the MLB, and I'm Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm Logan from Calling Our Shot.
Well, we are back with our 4 best picks of the day. Today we got a ladder play, we got another player prop, we got our favorite money line, we got a no one first inning coming your guys' way.
Yeah, guys, just do us a real quick favor and go down and hit that subscribe button if you already aren't subbed to our channel. Austin and I, believe it or not, do put a lot of hard work into these videos, and we do really want to grow this community. So again, just go down real quick and hit that subscribe button.
I agree, Logan, but let's talk about yesterday. It's been our 3rd straight day of just running in place like on a treadmill. It was a 3-3 day. We had the NRFI and the Brewers Cardinals game. Cash that one. We added a couple plays. If you're following us on Twitter or you're checking our pinned comment, we added 3 extra plays. 2 of them were Fried's under and 2.5 earned runs, Judge under 1.5 bases, and then we did lose the Pirates Cubs. Logan has a rant later on. Pirates scored the most runs they've scored all year. Nice. And then Tigers plus 1.5 and Ji-Man Choi over 0.5 bases. Look, Ji-Man Choi had 2 walks. I can't predict that. So either way, and Garrett Cole had no hitter going into the 8th inning. So either way, we're going to get back after it. But as I promised yesterday, if the parlay didn't hit, which spoiler, it didn't hit, we owed one subscriber and one COS All-Star $25 each. Well, we already picked our winners, David Tokarski and Katie Robinson. I know you guys, these were picked random at the COS All-Star, and I couldn't have picked 2 better people to win it. Katie's always tossing out winners to the people in the comments. So if that's one of you, David or Katie, let us know down below in the comments how we can pay you guys. We certainly would love to. And obviously, if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button. Our parlay of the day is live on OddsJam again today. But look, I'm going to hop into the first play, Logan. I'm going to take this one over. We're going to go to a ladder play with a guy that's starting for this team, the Atlanta Braves. I'm taking Spencer Strider's strikeouts over today. Now, his regular line is going to be 6.5, and I'll pull it up in OddsJam right now. So 6.5 minus 126. If you're only wanting 1 unit play on one thing regular, I would take that. But I'm actually going to be laddering it and taking him to go 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, and even a little bit of a sprinkle on 10.5. So this is how I'm laddering it. So if you want to see exactly what I mean by a ladder, we're going to put 0.7 units. So let's say your unit size is $100. I put $70 on his over 6.5, $30 on over 7.5. Only $15 on over 8.5. You can kind of see my ladder. And if you want to take a screenshot, here you go. Here's a pose. All right, there we go. You took a screenshot of it so you can post the same bet. But look, I'm riding with Spencer Strider, and let's talk about it. Total, I'll have 1.3 units risk to win over 2.5 if he does get 11 Ks. Now, last time Strider started, I know he had 11 Ks because I took his under that game. And he absolutely went and just said, I saw Austin took my under. Bet. I'm going to go out there and do it. And he had 11 strikeouts against the Nationals, a team that strikeouts the second fewest in the MLB. That's why we targeted their under. Well, today we're going to Spencer Strider's over because the Giants strike out the 10th most in the MLB. And that goes up even more to 9.06 on the road. This team's been really struggling in the strikeout department. They're swinging at a lot of pitches they probably shouldn't be swinging at. And over the last 14 games, the Giants have struck out 119 times in 405 plate appearances or at-bats. Look, that's a 29.4% strikeout percentage. That is a ridiculous number. They've just been getting fanned like crazy. And we saw yesterday with the guy that we just talked about, Max Fried, who took his under 2.5 earned runs. The man struck out 8 people, and his strikeout percentage or strikeout percentile is only in the 60th percentile, where we're looking at a guy in Spencer Strider that's a little bit better than that. Look, Strider enters with a 99th percentile K percentage, 95th percentile whiff percentage, and a 95th percentile expected batting average. Strider's been awesome this year. Obviously, he's a new starter because he only has 4 appearances this year with 4+ innings pitched. Even one of those appearances wasn't even him starting the game, but he started the last couple games, and he's been very good for him. In those appearances, he's gone. I mean, look at these strikeout numbers: 8 Ks and 4 innings pitched, 7 and 4 1/3, 5 and 4 innings pitched, and then 8 and 11 his last 2 starts when they've kind of let him pitch a little bit longer into the 5th, 6th inning. And I think Strider will be able to get there today against the Giants. Look, the one game that he went under 6.5 Ks was the game that he walked 5 people at Coors Field. We obviously know the Rockies very good at home, not the greatest on the road, but I really think Strider can get it done. So like I said, I'm taking this ladder play. If you want to just put a unit on his regular over 6.5 Ks, totally fine with that, but I'll be riding this ladder play that I just put up on the screen. This is how I'm playing it. This is how I'll track for our record's sake, but I'm riding with Strider today. But Logan, I'm going to throw it to you for your first pick of the day. What do you got for the people?
Yeah, real quick though, gotta address the Cubs simply because it did not sit well with me last night at all. The Chicago Cubs, I'm talking straight directly to their organization. What the heck are you doing with Caleb Killian, allowing him to walk 5 batters? That's a gross mismanagement of resources. It's kind of like, here, football analogy for you. If you got a rookie quarterback and he threw 5 interceptions, right? You didn't stop him. You didn't do anything to like curb the result that was happening. So yeah, I still stand by that pick, but what they did to that poor young pitcher last night was disgusting. Now, with that being said, let's get back into my pick today. I'm picking a game pick, right? Marlins versus Rockies, and I am taking the Marlins money line. Currently minus 130 odds on FanDuel. Look, as Austin is pulling it up here, pretty standard value, minus 130, pretty across all the books. Now, I really am comfortable back in the Marlins today. Fade the road Rockies, right? The Rockies today are starting Feltner. 4.85 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. So his WHIP is pretty low, but he's still in that higher range of earned runs allowed. Felter did face Miami back when Colorado and Miami did play, and they won 7-1. So again, here they are sitting as underdogs, right? Would it be closer maybe to a pick 'em if they did expect a similar result? Perhaps, right? Miami, though, yesterday, if you look at the box score, you're like, oh, they got shut out by the Mets. Well, I promise you, I was tracking that game, and Miami left 24 runners on base yesterday. Woof. Like, that's just that's disgusting as well, right? You expect better at home, where Miami is 10th in OPS. They're a better performing home team than they are on the road, because whatever the heck they did in New York yesterday, I'm sure they're like, guys, we got to be better, and they will be better today, right? They still have several hot bats in their lineup, right? For any casual who doesn't know who John Birdie is, he's swinging a hot bat. He's batting 300 during June, and Garrett Cooper 400 in June. So you got two really solid hitters at that top half of the lineup that should be able to get on base, that should generate some run opportunities for Miami. Just knock them home today, right? Do what you didn't do against the Mets yesterday. Colorado, the road Rockies normally bad on the road. This is a trend you always follow. Colorado 28th in OPS on the road, and overall 11-18 on the road record. Fade the road Rockies. You're more profitable than not. Daniel Castano is scheduled to pitch for Miami today. 6 2/3 innings pitched and 0 earned runs versus the Phillies in his only start. Really like that. That's a solid outing. I hope he can duplicate that today. Colorado does hit well versus left-handed pitchers. I had to come out and say that because I can't ignore the obvious stat. But we're banking on Miami giving Castano run support, right? They simply have to. If they give him some adequate run support, we should be in decent shape here. Last point of note, the bullpen, Colorado 28th in bullpen ERA, Miami 25th in bullpen ERA. So you look at that and you're like, oh, that's pretty close, right? Something I noticed, and ERA isn't everything, right? Colorado, 103 their bullpen, 103 walks. Miami only 88 walks. When it's late in the game and there's just some, the pressure's on, say this is a 1 or 2 run type game, I want the team that's not walking all those batters, right? Not giving free base runners. And that's been the Miami bullpen, even though they're up there in bullpen ERA. I still trust them more, and I trust that they're at home. So I'm going to go ahead and ride the fish at home. But Austin, what do you got for your next pick?
Yeah, I got 2 player props today. Maybe I'll add a third in the comment section down below. But today I'll be going by the game with the guys starting for the Texas Rangers, Martin Perez. I'm taking his over 17.5 outs. Now, I know some people don't have outs props, but I really think there's good value on this one. We got minus 131 on Caesars Sportsbook. Caesars really the only book with a line at the moment. These lines do tend to change pretty quickly. I don't anticipate it going above 17.5. Maybe it gets more juiced as more books release odds. Now, why do we like Mr. Perez? Well, he's having his best year of his career. I mean, last year the Red Sox kind of threw him into the bullpen. This year he's back to starting, and he's been absolutely unreal for the Rangers. 2.1 ERA, 1.107 WHIP. The guy's been ridiculous, and he has 18 plus outs or 6 innings pitched in 10 of 13 starts this year. So you see in 10 of 13, that's a pretty good conversion rate. But you look at 2 of the 3 starts that he didn't get 6 plus innings or 18 plus outs. We're at the beginning of the year. He only threw 68 and 67 pitches. That's reasonable considering he's coming out of the bullpen. The Rangers were like, we don't want to really throw him out there just yet. We want to see exactly what he's got. And they've obviously loved what they've got. I mean, he's pitched super well for him. And we look at the only other start besides those 2 at the beginning of the year that he didn't hit 6 or more innings pitched was against the White Sox, a team that mashes left-handed pitchers. You normally are backing the White Sox against lefties, which, of course, they mashed him, and he only went 5 innings pitched. I think he gave up like 6 or 7 earned runs, which was still impressive that he did go that far in that game despite giving up so many runs. And look at the Phillies, who he's matching up against today. They're also, middle of the pack against lefties. I think over the last couple of weeks, batting 260, which the difference between 260 like 250 is about 10 spots in the MLB. So really middle of the pack. And Perez already pitched against the Phillies this year, went 7 innings pitched. This was at Philadelphia, and he did only allow 4 hits over that time span. A lot of the hitters like Bryce Harper, which Bryce Harper, we don't even know if he's going to play day to day. Rhys Hoskins, Kyle Schwarber, all those guys don't have great splits against him. And look, I'm fine if Bryce Harper wants to play, but still Perez, he's very good. third fewest pitches per inning in the MLB. He's so close to number one. He used to be number one. Then I think Sandy Alcantara passed him up. But look, last start, Perez only threw 91 pitches. So he should be pretty fresh to go, should be good to go. He's been accustomed to throwing 100 plus pitches since the beginning of May. And we also look at the Phillies team total. Their over-under is just 3.5. Look, if they expected Perez to come out here and get rocked, they're probably not setting a 3.5, despite it being juiced at minus 145. They're not setting it there. We know the Rangers bullpen can give up runs late. We also do see, like I said, the Rangers are favored in this game. So the fact that I think they're indicating Perez pitches decently today, should be able to get a 6+ innings pitch or 18+ outs around him, minus 131 on Caesar Sportsbook. But Logan, you know what time it is, baby. It is NRFI Nation time. Get out those flags, because we've been having a great year or great month so far, even a great year on NRFI Nation. I mean, I think this month alone, like 12-5, 13-5, something like that. Maybe I'll pull up a record tomorrow if this one does hit. And today we're going Mariners versus Athletics. We're taking the no-run first inning, minus 125 on Caesar. So we obviously go over here. We see, minus 125. Caesar's the best book. Odds Jam, the sharpest book, is minus 112. That's kind of, something we normally see. Now, I know yesterday we talked, why did we avoid the Rays-Yankees ones? Because we don't take minus 160 NRFIs. We just don't. They're always feeling like a trap. And Anthony Rizzo said, here you go. There's a trap, and there's a NRFI for that Rays-Yankees game. Today could be very similar for that Padres-Diamondbacks game. Look, we looked at it, but we're not betting a minus 140, minus 150 NRFI. It just doesn't make sense. It's more of a coin flip bet. So the minus 125 with decent pitchers, we can ride with that. Now on the mound, we got James Caprielian. I don't care how you pronounce his name. We need 3 outs, buddy. 3, and he's been 7-2 on no-run first innings this year. Already NRFIing versus the Seattle Mariners, who he's going up against today. He's 25th, and the Mariners 25th in first inning runs. And I know something I noticed when I was looking through player props. Caprielian, his strikeout prop is 4.5. And look, he hasn't even snipped over 3.5. Yet the fact they're setting at 4.5, I think he's going to pitch pretty well today. So I think he can get us those first 3 outs. What about the next guy, Logan?
Right. Yeah, it's Marco Gonzalez, and I think he'll definitely be able to get us the 3 outs we need. He's 10-3 on no-run first innings this year, really solid, and he did NRFI versus Oakland in their most recent matchup that he pitched. I believe in Marco Gonzalez, right? But I really, believe in Oakland's offense being bad, right? Oakland is tied for 18th in first inning runs, so back of the pack, right? But Oakland is dead last in OPS at home, 567. To put this into perspective, it's not even close. Like, it's a solid last place. 29th is Detroit, 644. So you see that disparity, right? Oakland has just been a major fade spot for people, when they've been playing at home. So I really do think we're going to stand a really good chance at Marco Gonzalez getting those 3 outs. Knock on wood. Don't sell us, please. The over-under to this game set to 8.5. I mean, that is a little bit higher than what we normally pick in, but it's still not 10.5, 11.5. No garbage like that at Coors Field. So I do really think we stand a good chance of cashing this one, Austin. And we've been, like you said, we've been sneaky, NRFI Nation. We've been gaining some of those units back lost in May.
Yeah, I agree. We've been on a pretty decent run. Hopefully we can continue that. If we didn't have that one run where we lost 10 of 11 NRFIs, we'd be obviously having a great year for him, but still very profitable for that bet. So those are 4 plays of the day. The Spencer Strider strikeout ladder that I already talked about. I'll put it up on the screen right now in case you missed it. We're taking this ladder for Spencer Strider. Then we're obviously taking the Marlins money line. We're taking Martin Perez over 17.5 outs. And then the Mariners versus Athletics, no run first inning. I forgot that when I was talking about it, I did say they were 25th in first inning runs. I was just on the road. Both these 2 teams are fade spots where in their current locations. We appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one.